Toon jam, 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 yeah.
Jam.
Toon jam. Toon jam. Hello and welcome to another episode of Toon Jam. I am Matt.
And I'm J-Man.
And today we are watching Samurai Jack.
Oh, yes.
The episode we are watching is it Jack and the Scotsman?
Yeah.
Jack and the Scotsman, which is second season?
Yeah, I think so.
Something like that.
Okay.
You've got the episode name.
Yeah.
You know the score.
Yeah. You've got a search engine.
Unlike the usual affairs of this show, we are stepping out of the 90s.
Huh?
There's no going back now. The riverbanks are broke,
Oh, snap.
and time is no longer relevant. This was first released in 2001
Oh.
and finished in 2017.
Whoa.
An ongoing saga until 2017, in which it ended. It was created by Gendy Tartakovsky. That's right, isn't it?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Oh boy. Who also created Dexter's Lab and Hotel Transylvania.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
There you go. He conceived Samurai Jack after finishing his work on Dexter's Lab. Samurai Jack was inspired by his enjoyment of kung fu televised drama starring David Carradine,
Yeah.
as well as his fascination of samurai culture. Also, interesting fact, if you've ever read the graphic novel Ronin, I believe it's called, it has a very, very similar premise. A samurai being sent to the future.
Oh.
Obviously, storyline is somewhat different, but that's a Frank Miller graphic novel.
Yeah.
So I don't know if there's some inspiration there. It's not cited here, but there you go.
But remarkable similarities.
It originally ran for 4 seasons, consisting of 13 episodes apiece until September 25th, 2004. And it ended without a conclusion to the story, which was very gutting for anyone who watched it. Though, fortunately, a revival was produced 12 years later, resulting in a 5th season that provided a conclusion to the overarching story. Apologies. The 5th season premiered on Adult Swim as opposed to Cartoon Network. And the final episode was aired on March 11th, 2017, which served as the series finale. March 20th. Sorry, bit of a mixed info there. Sorry about that. All episodes are directed by Tartakovsky, though there are many collaborations with other directors too. Fun fact, the series has garnered critical acclaim and won 8 Primetime Emmy Awards, including Outstanding Animation Program, as well as 6 Annie Awards and an OIAF Award too. There are all available on DVD. And Blu-ray. And there are also a couple of games that you may have played. One on the Game Boy and one on the Game Boy Advance. One on the GameCube and PlayStation 2. There were also a series of comics in 2013 by IDW, and there is a board game of Samurai Jack called Samurai Jack: Back to the Past.
Oh, wonder how that plays out.
I don't know. I hope that's not a spoiler for the end, though. It looks like it is. And I've not seen the end yet, and I've just read that out.
No.
Well, if I spoiled it for you guys at home, Don't worry, because I spoiled it for myself. But I may not have. I don't know.
No,
I don't know. I don't
so.
actually know.
No.
So there you go. A bit of background information. Possibly damaging for the future.
Yes.
But before we move on from that, let's move on from that and go to our memories. Ever a lovely jingle. So, Samurai Jack.
Yes.
Do you remember it well?
No, not well.
Do you not?
No, not surprisingly. Yeah, it's weird. It's like one of those that kind of slipped through for me. Like, I remember seeing it about.
You know of it?
Yeah, I know of it.
Yeah.
And I'm sure I've seen like a couple episodes here and there, but it's not one that I like sat down and watched. Like, I don't know if it was on at awkward times for me during my younger life.
I mean,
but
maybe it was like. I mean, how old was I when it came out? 12.
Yeah.
So you would have been 13.
Yeah.
Maybe it was just that time when you just stopped watching.
Was out and about? Yeah, maybe.
That awkward teenage time.
That's it.
Where you just didn't return until.
So for some reason, I mean, I like the look of it and everything.
Yeah.
Like so, but yeah, I just never really sat down and watched episode after episode, which is unfortunate. Really,
it's a shame.
It looks like a
I watched quite a lot of it.
Yeah.
When I could, I remember. I know there's 4 seasons, but I don't think they showed them all over here. Well, they must have done, but I watched it quite a lot, and I remember seeing the same episodes over and over again. Obviously, we've said it before, and we'll say it again. It was always awkward watching things that they didn't really have them on at the same time.
Yeah.
They sometimes did, sometimes didn't. But I must have seen maybe the first 2 series, I reckon. A lot.
Yeah.
But I used to love it.
Yeah.
I remember thinking that, it's action-packed, it was smart, it was sensible, and it was just a real unique show.
Yeah.
Compared to what else was on at the time. Really enjoyed it. Was a big Samurai Jack fan, and just couldn't get enough of it. But they didn't give me enough of it.
Yeah.
So but it was always quite good, because if you know it, it basically gets sent back in time. No, it gets sent forward in time. Sorry. So, because he's basically, there's a massive demon called Aku. He tries to defeat him, just about defeats him. He's like, just got him on the ropes, and then he gets flung forward in time by him, and then he's already won.
Yeah.
So he owns this post-apocalyptic world.
Yeah.
And Samurai Jack's trying to defeat him and get back into his own time to defeat him. Back in the day as well. And there's so many times, there's a few episodes where he is close. You're like, this is it. I can't believe it. He's going to beat him. And then something happens and you're like, oh boy. And I remember, I think it's the second season ends on a bit of a cliffhanger, which was always dead annoying.
Because you'd never know.
I never saw what happened after. To this day.
Wow.
I still need to carry
Maybe
that
this
on.
is your mission,
Yeah, well, definitely. I would be up for that.
Yeah.
It's a interesting story. But I haven't watched it in a long time. So this was the first time I returned to it, probably
several years.
Yeah. Maybe. I might have watched it recently.
Several weeks.
The odd episode. But yeah, still interesting to come back to it.
Yeah.
So I'm not seeing it. I felt like I've not seen it in ages, so I must not have seen it in ages. Anyway, before I talk myself into a not sure hole, let us go to our playthrough.
Rewind. Playthrough. So, as you said, we know the premise now of Samurai Jack.
Overall.
Yep, sent into the future.
It tells you at the start.
It does, yeah. You get a little.
He gives you a little intro. Aku does.
Like, yeah.
Many years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's cool. Good. With this cool little sort of hip hop soundtrack.
Yeah, yeah. He looks dead cool as well, doesn't he?
He does.
Aku,
yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. He's got those Tartakovsky edges as well.
Yeah,
everything
yeah.
has, yeah.
It's very stylized.
Yeah, really cool. So, in this, Jack continues his journey, and like at the start, it's a very quiet part of the episode. He's just traveling. He's walking alone, and he's making his way through the landscape. He's going through some deserts. We see these giant structures of they're like wood.
Yeah, like you wonder what they are if they're saying. They're huge. Pardon me, sorry, a little hiccup there. A huge towering logs.
Yeah.
with rope around them.
Yeah, that just stretch on into they're massive. Yeah, and he goes through like a sea of these, and then ends up on a bridge. And he starts walking across the bridge, and it gets a bit misty.
I mean, it's pretty much silent. The first 5 minutes.
It is, yeah.
It's like nothing but scene setting.
Yeah, and it's just ambient noise. Yeah. Like he starts walking across this bridge that just seems to go on forever. Yeah. And he's walking, and it goes. You see the day turn to night. There's a moment when he's asleep on the bridge. He just has to crouch down and sleep. And he almost falls through it because as he's sleeping, the planks underneath him give way.
He's just not having a good time on this bridge.
This is a real long bridge.
Yeah. I mean, luckily he does holds his sword, stops himself from falling.
Yeah, but it's
Samurai Jack. You never worry about things like that with Samurai Jack. You just think like, oh man, that'd be rubbish.
Yeah.
Because he's just, he's got it covered.
Yeah. And so for the longest time, he seems to be on this bridge until at one point we see somebody else walking the opposite direction.
We hear first.
Well, yeah, we do actually.
We hear the sounds of bagpipes.
Which can only mean one thing.
Yeah.
And that is a Scotsman is on his way.
He's approaching.
Yeah. When they meet face to face, this guy is a lot larger than Samurai Jack.
He's a huge ginger-haired Scotsman.
Yeah.
Big beard.
Yeah.
Balding on the top, but with a ponytail on the back.
Yeah.
Barrel-chested.
Oh, yes.
Ginger curly hair on his arms.
Yeah.
He's only got one leg, the other is a machine gun.
Yeah.
Naturally, he's got a kilt on, the Scottish attire, and of course the bagpipes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And on his back, a claymore sword.
Yeah. And at this point, you think, well, this should be brief as they pass each other. Yeah. But it seems that the Scotsman doesn't want to move aside to let Jack pass, and Jack doesn't really want to move aside to let the Scotsman pass.
It's a case the Scotsman won't move aside.
Yeah. And Jack can't really get past him.
And he's basically saying to Jack, you need to walk back to the end of the bridge.
Yeah.
And Jack's a bit like, no, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
I ain't got the
It's
time.
taken days to get here. And it's taken the Scotsman days to get to where he is.
Yeah.
So they seem to be kind of in the middle of the bridge between themselves. So walking backwards is not really an option for anybody.
Yeah, there's no way.
And they end up having quite an argument here. It's pretty fierce.
Jack is always humble and respectful.
Yeah.
But the Scotsman is far from
not,
that.
no.
And he just starts taking the mick out of everything.
Yeah.
He's like, look at your stupid basket hat. I feel like I'm going to pick some apples and put it in my basket. And then he's like making fun of his bathrobe. He's like, you look like me now.
Yeah. That's pretty hilarious.
Yeah, he's just dissing him. And then there's this one bit where it's like super zoom ins on his face, different, as he says like a different insult to every zoom. And
he's just absolutely coughing up.
Every man has his limits, even Jack.
Yeah. And so soon enough, a skirmish breaks out.
Yeah.
And swords are drawn.
And in your head, you're like, you idiot. You don't go against Jack.
Yeah. But
to be fair,
turns out the Scotsman can hold his own.
They're evenly matched.
Yeah.
Impressive. Even when Jack pulls out something like a horsehair sweep or something.
Yeah.
It doesn't break his sword.
No.
Because he's got Scottish runes.
That's it. He's got runes on his sword. So they're battling it out. And then eventually, I think the scuffle.
You see,
attract.
day and night, don't you? Day and night pass, and they're both like knackered. Like,
they're both. They can't even lift their sword up. And then I think the bounty hunters at this point turn up, don't they, on the other side of the bridge? Yeah,
opposite sides in these big, wheeled, strange
contraptions.
Yeah, that drive across the bridge.
Yeah, and they're heading towards him because they want Jack, but it turns out they want the Scotsman as well.
They're both wanted. Yeah.
So there's really nowhere else to go, and they end up going through the bottom of the bridge and end up in a little swamp underneath.
Also, one of them fires. He's got a handcuff launching device.
Oh yeah.
And as they are both raising their fists to each other,
yeah,
both of them, handcuffed,
and now they're handcuffed in a swamp.
Yeah.
And far from where they wanted to be. They wash up on the shore, and they find a wanted poster of Jack, which makes the Scotsman a little bit more angry.
Because he just done like a monologue about how there's wanted posters of him everywhere. And Jack's just some afterthought.
Yeah.
But then in this place, there's only wanted posters of Jack everywhere.
So he's not happy about that.
No.
They walk on together, still handcuffed for a while, and then stumble upon basically an enemy base.
Just hillbillies.
Yeah.
And robot alligators everywhere.
Yeah, there's just a bunch of animals, and they are not friendly units. I think they end up hiding in the portaloo at one point, don't they?
Yeah, which then gets bombed.
Yeah. It gets bombed. But then all the action happens, and they're both known that their location is, and everyone wants a piece of them. And so immediately a giant shell is launched towards them.
Huge.
But they use that to their advantage.
Yeah, because Jack's been saying the bow must rely on the arrow and the arrow on the bow, but the two are not stuck together.
That's it. Yeah. And so
wise words.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's true.
It's very true. Yeah. They must work together but separately. That's what he's saying.
And so they use the shell to break the handcuffs.
Yeah.
And then that's it.
Which is fairly comedic because the shell is huge,
massive. Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
And they've only got a very short leash on the handcuffs. Yeah. And then after that, it is pure action.
Yeah.
It is Jack doing his best.
Fools.
It is the Scotsman at his best. The
hillbillies the hillbillies are pretty funny as well because when they talk, they're just like. Yeah,
pretty funny. And it's non-stop for a while, isn't it? Just those guys just cutting through
pure
them.
Action,
just burning through them until they're both pretty much exhausted. And I think by the end, there's pretty much no one left. There's just bodies and carnage everywhere.
Yeah.
And they both start to appreciate each other's skills and sort of bid each other a farewell.
Yeah.
And then that's pretty much the end of the episode.
Yeah. Toon Jam. Toon Jam.
That is how it went down.
Yeah.
It's pretty action-packed stuff.
Pretty action-packed stuff.
Starts off pretty calm. No light.
It is very calm.
No dialogue.
Just like a silent film.
Yeah.
Almost. It just.
And then culminates in just pure action.
Yeah.
Non-stop,
real
action
build.
cuts. Yeah, you've got just different little screens popping up everywhere, just seeing it from different angles. It's pretty.
And it's even though the start, it's it moves through at a fluid pace. So you've got that whole. So the first bit, him on his own. It's all very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Then he meets the Scotsman.
Yeah.
They have a Barney fight. Then there's the whole bridge bit with the people coming at him.
Yeah.
And then they battle on the floor.
Yeah.
All happens pretty. You never. It's boom, 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 boom. You're feeling it. You're watching it. You're enjoying it. You're captivated.
That's it. And it's pretty funny as well. It's full of humour. The Scotsman is really funny. As soon as he turns up, you're like, oh, this guy.
Just ridiculous character.
Yeah.
It's got a really good balance of serious and comedic, hasn't it? It's funny and at times
pretty
tense,
serious.
Real. But it still feels light, doesn't it? It never feels too heavy.
No. Yeah, it feels really artful at the start, and then when the action comes in, it doesn't really lose any of it. It's shot like a cool action movie. It doesn't. It's not just just watching people just swing around swords for 10 minutes or whatever. Whatever. It's all very impressive. It's all fun to watch. And it's the backgrounds look really nice as well, don't they? The environments look really cool.
Yeah, the art style is. You can tell it's him.
Yeah,
it's still got those, but it's almost more. I don't know. It's almost like it's made with paper.
Yeah.
Strange,
it's
different
textured,
paper layers.
Isn't it?
Yeah. It's interesting. It fits a lot. I like the if you watch throughout, basically anyone he kills usually is a robot,
right?
So that you can slice them in half and you can see sparks flying out.
Yeah, that was cool. It's
a way of doing it as a kids show sort of thing.
Did they change that up for like the Adult Swim?
Yeah, I don't know. I think the adult. When I saw the trailer, I've only seen the trailer for it. I do want to watch it, but I want to make my way through it properly. But it looks more serious,
right?
So whether or not, I'm sure it would still have a bit of comedy, but I think it'll probably be a bit more heavily serious, and maybe it has got more
adult violence in it.
Maybe a bit of blood or something.
Yeah.
I know he has a beard.
Ah.
Yeah, so
nice
things getting real.
Yeah, that's it. When a man's got a beard.
Yeah. It's real action Hank stuff.
That's
going
it.
On.
Yeah.
But it's a good balance. The art, as well as just generally nice. I do like the character designs and stuff.
Yeah.
They still feel like that Cartoon Network. You've got that similarity to like Dexter's Lab.
Yeah.
But there is a weird edge to them that's a bit more like, it isn't serious, but it feels less ridiculous. Almost. And they do a good job of creating this weird future world.
Yeah, it's really cool.
It's not necessarily real. Like it doesn't. Yeah, those giant wooden things.
Yeah, it just seems like, really out of proportion, but like in a cool way.
It's just it's like he goes into some sort of weird sci-fi fantasy world.
Yeah.
Rather than a future you can imagine. But there's like the lead is a demon, so it kind of makes sense and stuff. And it's just a cool concept.
Yeah. Because it's simple, isn't it? Like it's a simple premise, and like the episode itself is just like he's just trying to get from A to B.
And as I remember, like every episode, really, you could just watch, as long as it tells you the premise at the start.
Yeah.
But it's always just him sort of making his way through that world.
Yeah.
It kind of feels like, almost like, those people were chasing him in the last episode. But they weren't. That's just general. You pick it up.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really matter which one you watch. Like we didn't. This is like what season? Maybe season 2. I think it's season 2. But either way, it's just in there, and you're a bit like, oh right. Okay.
Yeah, but it's it's involved. You can pick it up. It's so easy to get on with.
Like I think maybe if it isn't season 2, I know he comes back.
Scotsman, I saw there was a few episodes where he's like Scotsman returned.
He's a good character, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
He's just like a funny character.
Yeah.
And it's cool that they made him as good. Like it wasn't just like
like Jack's the best.
Yeah, no matter what, they were equally matched.
Yeah,
and he was this lumbering, ridiculous character.
Yeah,
and he was really quite a knobhead at the start.
He was, yeah.
Funny, but a knobhead.
Yeah.
I just love how upset he gets when Jack stabs his bagpipes.
Yeah.
Just lobs him off and he's furious.
Because he's like, doesn't he cut his hat and then his hat falls off?
Yeah, he cuts Jack's hat like slightly and then he's like laughing his head off as it drifts away.
And then Jack stabs his bagpipes and it just like whines as it gets stabbed to the it's pretty funny.
Yeah. He's not pleased at all.
He's pretty hilarious, Scotsman.
Yeah. I mean, and it's John DiMaggio as well, so he's funny. The accent is pretty crap.
Yeah,
but it kind of adds to it. Like, it's hilarious because he's such a how he looks is painfully like what you'd make up of a stupid giant Scotsman type thing, and like all he does, like he doesn't he caber toss a tank at one point.
Yeah, he does. Yeah,
and it's all that stuff, but with the crappy accent, it all just makes it funnier
because he's basically just shouting the whole time. Isn't he? Like,
and it's perfect.
Yeah.
Like, so it doesn't
take away.
No, it adds to it. If anything, like it's funny.
It's hilarious. Like it's I definitely don't remember like watching an episode now. Like after
you watch it,
I'm just like I don't remember much. Like, but like it's cool because you can just go in and be
I mean, I say like every episode feels like an introduction almost without having to. I suppose because it does introduce you to it at the very start.
Yeah.
I mean, there's minor details, but
and Jack seems very like. It's like I suppose a lot of the other characters that he's done, like Dexter and stuff, they do quite a lot of talking or whatever.
Yeah,
like, whereas Jack seems pretty silent most of the time, unless he's.
And what's cool is he always used like you watch it and he doesn't just, even though he's a warrior, he uses his brain sort of thing and he uses sort of wisdom to get past things and stuff. Like there's a really good episode with these archers, and he's making his way through the snow, but they're like blind archers, but they know wherever he is. So whenever he's there, they just loads of arrows fire at him. So he can't get past him. He has to like think his way through. It's a good episode. Yeah. Can't remember what it's called for me, but it was one of them that you used to see like whenever you put it on. That was the episode.
Always the same.
Yeah, but it was a good one.
No, that's cool.
But yeah, it would be interesting to see where they go. Yeah. In the newer ones.
I didn't realise it was running for that long at all. Like,
yeah, well, I mean, like I said, it was a 12-year gap, I think he said. So, you know.
Yeah, I suppose.
It kind of wasn't. But, yeah. And it was always like, until then, it was just like, I wonder how it would end.
Yeah.
Like, you know, he'd probably win. But
yeah, be good to actually
how does he
see
win?
it.
Yeah. Like, what does it cost him? How hard is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
That's cool.
But yeah, I think with that we should jump straight into our ratings.
Yeah.
Okay, so here at Toon Jam we have a 3-point rating system, and that is thumbs up. Lucky I prepared with those magic runes. Thumbs down, 3 days of bagpipe music, and shaky middle, a rickety old wooden bridge held up by the most giant bits of wood you could imagine. Yeah. So that's good, bad, in the middle, okay, not sure. So, Samurai Jack, Jack and the Scotsman, your thoughts?
Well, it looks good. It sounded good. The characters were fun. There was a nice mix of action versus just like ambient pleasantness. Yeah. And like the story was easy to follow, but at the same time, like still exciting enough. Yeah. So I mean, there really isn't anything that I was like, oh, that's a bit annoying, or it was genuine. Like from the moment it was on, it was like, yeah, this is just solid stuff. Like just enjoyed it all the way through. So it's gonna have to be a thumbs up for me.
Yeah, it is. It's another one where it's tough to find a negative. Yeah, like we've watched a few. This is it. I can't think of a single thing that I don't really like about it. Yeah. It's a cool premise. It's well played out. It's well made. It looks good. Yeah. It's just the pace is perfect. Yeah. It's just truly enjoyable. It has a nice humour. It's good because, there's a lot of things we've talked about before with, having kids shows that adults can enjoy. Yeah. And some people don't like that. I think it should just be for kids, and often it's the humour. Like Ren and Stimpy, we had that whole thing with the sausages, and it's obvious what it means, but to kids it isn't. Whereas this is kind of like, it does the same thing, but rather than doing it with jokes, it does it with story and play out, so anyone can enjoy it. That's it. But it's more innocent in a way. Yeah. Like and it doesn't send any bad messages really. There's quite a lot about inclusion and stuff like that in it, and Jack always does right by the people and no by the man sort of thing. So yeah, it's good. Thumbs up from me. Yeah, two thumbs up. Absolute corker.
Can't get better than that.
That's it. We're on a roll.
That's it.
So let's see if we can ruin that roll next week. Next week it's December.
It's December, yeah.
Oh boy, it is December, and that means one thing only. It's festive time.
Oh yes.
Time for the holidays. Time to get cheery, and we are doing
a streak,
a month of festive episodes. Yeah. So imagine that time of year. Trees, Santa, snow, presents. Yeah. All those things. That's what we're doing.
That's it.
That's what we're talking about. Episodes that involve that. Yeah. So, I hope you've had a good November. But get ready.
Because December's a coming.
It's time. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed it, please feel free to rate and review us. It really helps us out. If you want to get in touch, make some recommendations, or just say hi, you can contact us on the trio of Akus on the internet, Facebook, Instagram and Twitter at ToonJamPod. And yeah, otherwise, there's only one thing to say. Stay Jackie.
Hey everyone, thank you for listening to Toon Jam. And if you want to continue to help us out, you can help us by jumping over to our Patreon page, which is patreon.com/ToonJamPod. And if you can rate and review us everywhere you listen to your podcasts, so on iTunes or on the Android apps, that'll be a massive help too. Thank you, and stay jammy.